Green Bay Packers defeat the Philadelphia Eagles 27-13 on Monday Night Football. You are to the MJ Take on Sports Fan Entertainment. Welcome to the MJ Take on Sports Fan Entertainment, here to recap the Monday Night Football game between the Green Bay Packers and the Philadelphia Eagles, as the Green Bay Packers surprise me and show up today as a completely different football team than we have seen over the last 3 or 4 weeks, as offensively and defensively they were much more improved, and I really don't know why. Okay, they got one thing that was different, and that was Demarius Randall being healthy. I mean, that's really it. Other than that, I guess they finally, for I don't know what reason, finally felt a sense of urgency, woke up and said, hey, wait a minute, we need to win games, and we're not going to make the playoffs this year, and this season will be a disaster. And now we need to begin to reevaluate our thoughts on the Green Bay Packers a little bit. Okay, you don't need to go all in on the Packers saying they're going to win out and they're going to make the playoffs and all of that, but, you know, they're better, okay? And we know within this team lies honestly, a Super Bowl team. I mean, a Super Bowl team is in there, okay? The question is, can they play up to that level? Can they get that type of production out of their offense and their defense simultaneously? Today they did. They look like a Super Bowl team today, but the record does not indicate that they're even a playoff team right now. They have a lot of work to do. But last week, if you would have asked me, are the Packers, do they have a chance to make the playoffs? I would have probably said no. Now I'm starting to think about it, because I've seen now, yes, that team is still there. They still exist. You have to go out on a limb to believe that they're going to play like this for the next 5 weeks, and they're going to need to win at least 4 of the last 5 games, probably even 5 of the last 5 games. They can do it. I doubt it, but you need to look out for them. And, you know, regardless, they're going to make a little bit of a run. I expect them to finish about 8-8 right now, possibly 9-7, which could win the division. If they finish 10-6, they will win the division. You know, when we look at the things that changed, let's talk about number one, quarterback Aaron Rodgers, who today had a masterful game, 30 of 39, 319 yards, I believe, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and he was absolutely dominant. And what we saw from him was, for the first time in weeks, he was really pushing the football down the field. They finally made an offensive game plan in which Mike McCarthy said, hey, wait a minute, let's throw the football down the field. And then guess what? They did that time and time again this evening, and they found success. You saw a number of just masterful, brilliant throws from Aaron Rodgers from the pocket, and these are throws that we've been missing this year from him. Hell, we've been missing them for like the past year by Aaron Rodgers, going back to last year, middle of last year. But hey, today we saw these throws. You all saw the second touchdown he threw today to Davante Adams, I believe. It was an incredible throw and catch. Nolan Carroll, by the way, of the Philadelphia Eagles, despite how good of a throw it was, he had a chance to intercept this. I mean, he turned around and he didn't know where the ball was. I mean, he just turned around, just looking up like he was, I don't know, Stevie Wonder or something. He didn't know where the ball was. These are his eyes right here. Looking up, didn't know where it was. And then the ball just went right through his hands, went right to Davante Adams' hands. If we're talking about a better cornerback here, this could have been an interception, and the result of this game may even be different. But at the end of the day, it was a great throw. It was a great catch. We also saw a number of other great throws and catches by Aaron Rodgers today. I was impressed by Davante Adams, who stepped up tremendously today. 5 receptions, 113 yards by Davante Adams. And, you know, that's a big stat line. They need to get more guys having a bunch of yards on not many receptions, right? They need to get the ball down the field. Randall Cobb just isn't doing that this season. He's been very mediocre to me. He's looking more and more like a number 3 than a number 2 wide receiver in this league. So Davante Adams finally stepping up and playing well. For all 4 quarters, that was good to see for the Green Bay Packers side of things. They need him to be a deep threat, while Jordy Nelson is still coming back from his ACL tear last year. He's just not as fast or as quick or as explosive as he was last year. So having Davante Adams play at this level was nice to see. You know, you still saw Jared Cook do absolutely nothing. I don't know why Packer fans love Jared Cook. Let me tell you right now, he stinks. Okay, I was a Tennessee Titans fan. I still am. But I saw him when he was with the Tennessee Titans. He wasn't very good. I saw him with the LA Rams / the St. Louis Rams. He wasn't very good. He's not very good. He can't catch the ball consistently. He can't run routes consistently. In fact, I'm even shocked that he's still in the league at this point. He should be out of the league, but he keeps skating by off of his athleticism, and sooner or later that will fade. I guarantee you of that. Defensively, for the Green Bay Packers, this is where, to me, I am most impressed. And I've been calling out this defense lately, saying that while everyone likes to excuse them, like Chris Collinsworth loves to excuse them, saying the reason this Packers defense isn't playing well is because of injuries. Oh, they just have so many injuries out there. How many injuries do they have? 2, maybe 3. Now they got Demarius Randall back, and then their defense was fixed today. Now, I don't think he's the key. At least, hopefully, he shouldn't be. He didn't play that great today. I mean, he played well. I'd give him a B. He led up a number of receptions to Dorial Green-Beckham and to Jordan Matthews, about 4 or 5. But he's a lot better than that Geis guy. I don't even know his name. No one knows his name because they picked him off of the street in the middle of the season because they needed cornerback help. That Geis guy that they were starting, he's bad. And the Darius Gunter, he's bad as well. Now you have Demarius Randall back in the starting unit. You have Quentin Rollins back in the starting unit. And they're a lot better than what you've been having. And you're starting to see, oh, wait a minute. Now Morgan Burnett's playing better. Now Micah Hyde is playing better. Now we're getting a pass rush. Nick Perry got a sack today. Clay Matthews got a sack today. Mike Daniels got a sack today. Julius Peppers got a sack today. And I've been calling these players out, saying, where are y'all? I think they've needed maybe just a little more time, which is unfortunate because, they should be getting there. All right, they shouldn't need to be having so much time. And also, they were the beneficiary of the Eagles' offensive line being in shambles and ruins, and, they were able to take advantage of that. But it was nice to see some sort of pop and some flavor from this defensive unit front seven. They haven't been getting pressure this season. Clay Matthews, I think he's having a horrible year. I don't care that he had a sack today. I saw a number of plays where Clay Matthews was not explosive at all. He let Carson Wentz run for a number of yards today. I think Clay Matthews is bad. Honestly, I think he is. I don't think he's very good at all. Julius Peppers is limited. He only comes on there time and time again. Nick Perry's actually had an all right season. Detone Jones, same thing. He didn't have a sack today, but he played pretty well today from what I saw. Mike Daniels finally had a sack today. So now this defense, maybe they're starting to find something with Demarius Randall back. Maybe he was the key for this defense. It's kind of weird because he's not that good, but I guess he's good enough for them. When we talk about the Philadelphia Eagles, let's start with their quarterback, Carson Wentz. And this is a guy that, he got off to such a hot start this season. They started 3-0. This whole Eagles team had a hot start to start the season. But, man, he's faded and they faded. Okay, today he didn't play bad, right? But if I had to grade his performance, I'd probably give him maybe a C+. I was impressed by his ability to move in and out of the pocket, okay, to extend plays, to run for first downs, to run for yardage. However, when he was pressured, he was not good at all. And I know what you're going to say. Let's blame the offensive line. The offensive line needs to be better. Okay, sure. But as an NFL quarterback, dog, you're going to be pressured. And when you're pressured, you need to be better than how he was. When he was pressured, he did absolutely nothing. Okay, if he wasn't able to get out of the pocket and extend the play with his legs, he would throw the ball up. He got picked off once. He would throw inaccurately. And he just wasn't very good at all. Very inaccurate under pressure. And you need to be better under pressure. Yes, it sucks. You're getting pressured. Your offensive line is in shambles today. Brandon Brooks sat today. The right guard for the Eagles sat today inexplicably. No one really knows why. But, man, you got to play better than this when you're under pressure because you're just going to be under pressure. This is the NFL. You're going to be under pressure. And he couldn't do anything under pressure today. When he was actually protected, he played great. But you need to play better under pressure because that's just what's going to happen in this league. You look at the running game. Wendell Smallwood had some okay runs, but just really didn't make an impact. Same goes with Darren Sproles. The receivers, Dorial Green-Beckham. He had 82 receiving yards today, and you're starting to see the flashes from him. I never think he's going to be your number one wide receiver, or at least he shouldn't be, even though it looks like right now he is. But he's a guy that over the next 3-4 years, he can be your number 2 wide receiver. To me, you just need to develop his hands a little bit better. But I think you guys will still end up being the winner of the DGB Dennis Kelly trade because ultimately DGB will produce more than Dennis Kelly ever will, and that's just the truth. Okay, so Dorial Green-Beckham, 82 yards today, which is already, to me, more than Dennis Kelly has even produced this season. When we look at your defense, I'm very disappointed. I'm so disappointed, especially in your pass rush, okay? Fletcher Cox on your defensive line did nothing today. All he did was get a roughing the passer call, for God's sake. You look at their outside linebackers, Connor Barwin, nothing. Brandon Graham, little to nothing, okay? No sacks among any of them. You look at Jordan Hicks. He actually played really well. He covered well. You saw none of the Green Bay Packer tight ends catch anything. You saw him make a number of plays, number of key stops. I'm not going to talk about him. You look at their other players, though, man, they just didn't step up today defensively. I thought Malcolm Jenkins was hit or miss, more hit than miss, but there were some misses in there for Malcolm Jenkins. But the two biggest culprits today, Lotus McKelvin, who played awful, Nolan Carroll, who couldn't catch a ball that was, to me, right between his hands, let it go right through his hands. These two cornerbacks got shredded. Jalen Mills, he's a rookie. He didn't play great either. And we already knew that this Eagles secondary was a weakness for this football team, and it proved to be a weakness tonight. Okay, it is the weakness of this football team. It is the weakness of their defense. Their wide receivers are the weakness of their offense. And, you know, when you have just these bad backfields, you can't make the playoffs. And ultimately, to me, the Eagles are not making the playoffs. So I think we're looking at two teams here that won't make the playoffs, although now I like the Packers' chances a lot more than I do the Eagles. The Eagles, I wanted to go off the premise when I picked the Eagles to win this game. I went off the premise that, man, this team is really good at home. They can win at home. But ultimately, they lost at home today, and they're not very good on the road. And I know everyone's looking at next week's game against Cincinnati, and they're circling it, and they're saying W, and I'm saying, hold on. The Eagles aren't good on the road. The Bengals are actually all right at home. They're not great, but they're all right. I think the Bengals are going to upset this team. I really do. I may change that prediction as the week progresses, but that's where I'm leaning right now. So this Eagles team, I think you have to actually be proud of where you were this season. I know when you started 3-0, you started thinking playoffs, Super Bowl, blah, 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 and you got your expectations too high, but heading into this season, you would have been fine with an 8-8 campaign, and I think that's exactly where you're headed right now. Now your only job, to me, is try to make the playoffs, although you'll probably fail, and then play spoiler to the Cowboys, to the Giants, to the Redskins. If you play them, I'm not sure if you do again, but if you do, play spoiler a little bit, because to me, the playoffs, it just isn't happening this season. I mean, you guys have won 2 of your last 8 games. This season's turned into a bad season, and just in terms of like momentum, in terms of winning games in a row. Only, I believe, 2 of your last 8 games. That's just not good at all. This Eagles team has just honestly collapsed at this point. Now 5-6, not good at all. This Eagles team, unfortunately, lately started 3-0, now 2-6 since. Not good at all for the Philadelphia Eagles. So there you go. Those are my thoughts on this game. What are yours? Comment down below. I want to know if you enjoyed the video. Make sure to like, comment, and most importantly, to subscribe. And until the next time, this has been the MJ Take on Sports Fan Entertainment, and I'm out. Peace.